Yeah, yeah, what up, what up? It's Dave Noodles. We are on the Type 88 show. Today I got a special guest with me. This guy, he is always cooking. He may even be cooking right now. He's always working on jams, and this guy is all about the community. This guy has blown a lot of minds with his lyrics, and he's true to his craft. So I want to welcome my dude to the show, Dru Gunz. What up, man?
Was good noodles. What's going on, bro? Here, man. I'm definitely thankful to be here. Thank you for the very dope introduction. You had me feeling like a legend real quick.
Of
You
course,
hit me with
man.
that.
It's all
You
about
hit me
it's
with
all
that.
about giving the flowers while they're here.
Most definitely, and I appreciate that because that's very rare right now.
Yeah, bro. Just for anyone who doesn't know, man, you've been rhyming for quite a while.
Oh Lord, where you
when
want me
when
to
did
start?
you even like find hip hop, or when did it
Oh,
find you?
hip hop has been around since I was in the crib, man. Honestly, there's a video somewhere of me singing OPP, definitely about 3, 4 years old, word for word, line for line.
Oh wow.
So it didn't really, I didn't find it. It was literally in my face day to day, day to day. So how did I grow into it and through it? Oh Lord, that had to be definitely all the older cousins, brothers, because I do have a lot of siblings, but most of my siblings have multi-talented lifestyles. They write poetry, they write music, they sing, they spit themselves, they produce. So you know what I mean? Like it found me.
That's dope, bro. So was your starter kit as a kid? Were you burning CDs and then writing on them with the marker? Like when did people
Oh
know
damn.
when did people know you had music? Like where
Woo.
like
Well,
how did that
close
even
close and immediate family definitely. I was walking around my crib rapping since about age 5 or 6. I could always, some innate reason, I could always put together lines. I didn't know how to write them, like write my rhymes when I first started, but off the top of my head, I could always go off. And my family knew I was talented with it. As far as the outside world, a funny story. Went to Curtis High School with a few of my cousins, and they knew that I could rhyme. And there used to be ciphers in Curtis by Snapple machines towards the auditorium. And one day my cousin was walking by, he was a year or two older than me. He was Mr. Popular football team dude, and I'm walking by and he saw the dude's rhyming and he shoved me as he was walking by, and I like went into the middle. So the cipher kind of stopped and they was all looking at me. And I just started going. And everybody was like, what the? And I was just like, yeah, that was it. From there, dudes knew I could rhyme. I didn't really start putting out music yet though. They just knew I had bars. I probably started putting out music '04, '05. Me and Intel way back in the day. Whew, way
throwback
back in the
right
day.
there? That's
Way, way back. I'm talking. If that man has them tapes anywhere, I might have to hitman him so he never dropped them. Cause whew, nah, we good. That was that was me in my immature phase where I thought I was that dude.
it's
So
all
I
good.
rapped about all the BS,
You
which
gotta
is
you gotta think it to then be it, right? So
yes,
here you
honestly,
are.
a,
It's crazy, bro. Right? Just saying, 2003. That was a long time ago. Like that's crazy.
right like
Just thinking about that.
2003, 2004, soon to be 20 years ago. That
Time
means
is
I've been doing this on a professional level. Lord, yeah, 20. Even before I put out tapes, I had homies, older heads around my area that would literally give me money out their pocket to freestyle. And they say when you get paid for it, it's not a hobby, right? So yeah, almost 20 years. Damn. Whew. Before I ever got a check from it, I got paid off by the older heads.
I always tell anyone, bro, I'm like, if you love something, be willing to do it for free for 10 years. And
Exactly.
if you don't love it, you're not going to keep doing it. And don't worry about the bread and all that stuff. Of course, we're old, we're older, we got to support our families, but
For
if
real.
you love something, you should be just willing to do it just cuz you love it. The money and all that. Like, and as you saw, bro, you loved it, and the money just kind of fell in your hand. It
For real.
wasn't you starting, oh, let me do this because I'm going to get this.
Nah, it was literally straight off the love. Like, this is it for me. Honestly.
That's what it's all about, man. I feel like whenever I try to do anything, bro, I try to always like capture the essence. Like, I try to
I
remember,
respect it.
like, where did this come from? What is the root of this? What's the story? What's the seed that grew into this right now? And that's dope. Just hearing about when you were younger, bro. Bro, I was all about the Snapple machines, bro. I remember IS-51. They were 90 cents. They came in the can. I used to get I just remember that dime falling because you would put the dollar in and then the dime would fall and then I'd get my peach Snapple, and that's where my love of peach Snapple started.
Wow. Okay. You was a peach Snapple dude. Copy.
That's
I
it.
was more. I was more Mango Madness.
Okay.
In Curtis. Then after Curtis, like towards senior year, I definitely became definitely a Snapple Apple.
Hmm.
I was definitely a Snapple Apple dude. Like that. That was it. There was no more any other flavors. Pretty much, it was just like, nah, this is exactly what I need. And everybody used to make fun of me, like, bro, the same thing every day. She'd be like, you don't get it. If you got it, you wouldn't pick fun if you got it.
That's how I was with peach. Once I had peach, I was like, I didn't even explore. I've
That's
had
really
my share of lemon. Don't get me wrong. Or that's I've had raspberry and the lemonade mix. Um,
the raspberry lemonade, the half and half. Oh man, the half and half. That was the moment. See, that's when I was also in my drinking phase, man. And when I was in my drinking phase, Snapples would mix with whatever
really?
whatever I had on me would mix with Snapple. So trust me, I think I've tried every Snapple in
So
existence.
that's weird, bro. Because I've stopped drinking stuff because I drank it with liquor growing up. Like, I remember I had a 99 bananas and then that banana Snapple, bro. Oh my
Bruh, I was just about
God,
to say
I never
that
had that
banana
Snapple again.
Snapple,
I never had that again.
that banana Snapple and the Pinnacle whipped cream. Never in my life, ever in my life will I drink that again.
Bro, I
That was the worst mistake I've ever made.
I I'm not, I'm not a drinker, bro. This is me when I was like 16,
Yeah.
and I had, bro. I don't remember the day, but I remember what people told me, and
Mm-hmm.
it was quite a day, bro. It was quite, and my mom, oh man, shout out to her because she
Mama
probably
Dukes
brought me
pulled
back to
up.
life because she told me I was literally a mess. I was a mess. And I never had that Snapple again. And I'm so happy I didn't mix that liquor with the peach because I feel like that may have ruined my peach, my love for the peach.
Trust me, I definitely I definitely was that person to be like, ah. It's funny too, because I wasn't necessarily heavy drinker, but also I don't get drunk. Like I have a real high tolerance, so it's like I would OD. Now I look back and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't safe. It wasn't safe at all. Why'd y'all let me do this?
Oh man, yeah, high school, college, yeah, those are definitely the days.
Those are that was definitely the moments where you like you know what? I was wilding. I was
It was
wilding.
an experimental age, let's just say. Um,
I knew I was bugging.
so here we are, man. You know the rhymes have been with you since as young as you can remember. Probably at the point you can't even remember. But
Oh, me what? My first, oh God. Lord, I used to remember it word for word, but I do remember that one of the lines from it was definitely, I got so many bullets, I'm proof. And I thought I was that dude.
mm,
I thought I was literally that dude. Everybody was like, bro, what? Like, nah, you don't get it. Cause like that line is crazy. And from there, I just tried to improve on that one line for a good 3 months. I got nicer with filling everything in because I learned how to write the bars instead of just freestyle them.
mm,
And then from there, I was like, all right, I was able to do this freestyling stuff. That was cool. All right, now I got to try to start writing songs, and that's where
yeah,
the
how
songwriting
was that
started.
transition?
Different, honestly, because I could always, thankfully, I always understood drum patterns, rhythms, beats, but I didn't understand flows and cadences yet. So if I ever find like one day in the future, I'm gonna find my first 10 or 15 recordings and I'm gonna put them out. And I know I'm literally going to be in a real different zone. But it's like, well, y'all get to see transition.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's just growth, right? That's just the way things are when you just stay with something.
Most definitely. But you know, now I'm at the point after the growth and the ugly phases, because I even had the ugly phases, helping other people learn how to get they bars and they rhythms and they cadences and all of that right.
I feel you. It's
So yeah, that now I'm at the point where I'm like the big homie and I mentor and teach and show people, you know,
that's what
partially by way of projectivity and you at stereotype always reaching out and unwittingly letting me showcase while also showing younger MCs, the ropes. So good looking to you for that.
yeah, man. We gotta stay cooking over here.
Fact, that's a fact. That's a Snapple. It's a heavy Snapple. Very heavy
it,
Snapple.
that's what life's all about, man. It's just
Right. Creation and elevation.
keeping like hoarding information and hoarding things that can help others is such a fail, I feel. You know, like if you have the ability to help someone and you hoard that and you're like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm
then
going to
you
keep
did
it." What do you like
yourself
that
such a disservice.
that's not the thing to hoard.
No, never. But at the same time, you know how ahead of the curve you have to be to realize that, how many people have the answer or the plug-in or the drive to that avenue and don't look out.
Of course. Of course.
Which is one thing I've always highly respected you for. I've never seen you ever have something where somebody could get a level up or better footing or, showcase their talent and not be like, hey, so I just learned this, or I just got plugged into this. You've always passed the knowledge along. And I feel like for a while, you weren't, it was thankless.
Yeah, man, that's to me. After I've been doing what I do for so long, I'm grateful that I have some stories to share, and
Real shit. Trust me,
it all falls really under the. I always say when you find your secret sauce, don't change the recipe. Just put it on different pasta.
Let me find out. Dave brought the boys back for him for a minute. Time out. When you find the secret sauce, don't change the recipe. Just put it on different pasta. That's fire.
That's what I say, bro. Like for me, my sauce was dreams, right? And then I basically just found out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just put it on different pasta, which is helping people with their dream or just telling people the dream. Because
Real,
I may not know how to be a banker or a nurse, but I'm confident that if I could sit with someone for 10 minutes and they ask me about following a dream, I think they're gonna be more
enthused and more
enthused.
on the road. Most definitely, because
You
you've
know?
helped me. You've helped me
Oh wow.
in
That's
moments
dope.
where you may not have known. I was in a dark place, and
Wow.
we chatted it up, or we were discussing a business idea, or we were building on some unreleased music, which is probably somewhere out there in the cosmos. One day the world is going to hear the Noodlez and Dru Gunn collab. But in those moments, you've definitely had me retract myself and get myself back on track.
That's what it's all about, man. And I'm grateful I figured out that sauce, and I always try to find new pasta. That's the thing. It's and
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm never gonna stop. Because there's always gonna be someone to push to share, and I'm gonna always have a dream, and I'm always gonna want to tell someone about their dream. And I always say, yo, your dream may change,
Oh, facts.
but
Most definitely.
just don't stop dreaming.
No, yeah. My dream at 15 was not my dream at 25. And it shouldn't be.
I agree.
Because if you still think like you're 15 when you're 30, then you have no growth, spiritual or otherwise. Give me 1 second, Dave.
Yeah. Exactly, man.
Which is the new mode now, where it's like, yes, I'm heavy on the music. Just released the project, working on part 2 to that project. Slowly but surely, that'll be out most likely.
Yeah.
I give it around the same time as the last one, probably the end of October.
So yeah, let's get into it. Fresh off the release.
The good old venting session, yes.
Venting session. I feel
the venting session. That was 6 years of pent up frustration that brought a lot of people out of their own funk, which wasn't really even my goal at first. My goal was more so really to follow suit with the name of the project and vent and get it out. But the feedback I've gotten from it is like, yo, thank you. Yo, you don't realize I listen to this every morning, or I had somebody hit me that was like, yo, I was really considering quitting everything and just wasting away. And I listened to the project and I was like, oh man, I could still pursue things. Cause a large part of what inspired that project was I had that moment where I was like, yo, rap is a young man's game, but hip hop is ageless.
That's real.
A large part of that project was like, I'm too old to still be rapping. But I had to sit there and be like, what? How can you say that when The Jay-Z's exist. Nas's exist. The Busta Rhymes, the Eminems, the Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Royce the 5'9s. Like these men are in their 40s and 50s. The Black Thoughts, and
There you
putting
go.
masterpieces together.
I agree.
So I needed to face myself, which is a large portion of the project for those, because a lot of people have asked me what's the basis. It's framed as an actual therapy session, which is why when people listen to it, they hear the talented voiceover work of my amazing partner.
Shout out to the partners.
Shout out to Miss Josie B, aka Pure Energy.
Shout out.
She definitely brought life into she brought a vision of mine to life without even realizing that she did that. There's a lot of people that had asked me like, who is that? And I was like, I'll let you figure it out. And I started letting people know little by little, because I felt like sometimes people might want that to be private, or she might not have been comfortable with it, with people knowing. Or there was a moment where I was like, nah, I want to make people wonder, like, did he do that? Was that a voiceover artist? Because a lot of people are like, yo, how much money did you pay for this voiceover artist? And I'm like, for a few people, I hit them with more than you can afford. But for most people, I was like, nah, you just gotta have talent in your corner. Talent has to be a part of your team.
That's amazing, man. That it's a blessing,
It
to
really
just
is.
be able to bounce off stuff with your partner, and that it it's
I'm
it's
lucky.
it's a true gift.
Yes, and I'm lucky enough to have a partner that's honest, like too honest sometimes, to where it's like, ah, ow, that hurt. But then later you sit on what they told you and be like, no, no, that gave me a leg up. Because if I didn't focus on that, or you didn't bring that up, I wouldn't have been able to turn that weakness into a positive. So
That's so real.
it's real, like, especially after really listening to the project. Because during making it, there were moments where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
Of course, when you're digging deep, there's parts that you have to face, that you
That
have to,
push you.
yeah, and stuff
Oh,
we push away. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to bring this
there was
up.
a few moments on there where I was real honest with just myself, in certain lines and in certain bars, in certain verses, and I'm like, damn, shut up. It's those moments where you find yourself arguing with yourself. But definitely was something that was needed. I'm thankful that people tuned in. I'm thankful that people are still tuning in. There's still people that are like, yo, like, I still want you to break it down to me. And I'm like, since we here and I can fully break it down, it's a therapy session, but it's not. It's me in a mirror in a dark room arguing with myself disguised as a therapy session.
25th Hour. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever seen that.
Yes, I have.
One of my favorite movies as a kid. And
Such a deep film, like way deeper than you realize when you watch it as an adult. And you like, I
real
didn't need to
talk.
be talked to like that.
Yeah. So I feel you. That's great, man. That's great that you got to a point in your life where you're at peace with, you have someone you could bounce things with, who could partner with you in more ways than one.
For real.
And then creatively you're able to address things maybe you don't like about yourself, or things that you're growing from, or things that you grew up with, and you're like, we all deal with stuff, and we're like, oh man. But it's cool to look back and be like, look where look where I am now. I
Exactly.
remember I was that kid, I didn't talk to that hot girl, but look now, I got her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or, oh, I didn't want to make that album. Boom.
But look at me now. Yeah.
I was honest. and I'm that's who I am. And I think that's great when you could just shine light on who you are.
It's one of those moments where like it truly shows you when I was younger, I heard it's not the destination, but the journey. And I used to look at that and be like, that's dumb because why else am I going through all of this? And sometimes you really, as you grow, spiritually, mentally, and age-wise, you actually realize you answered all the questions that you had getting to the destination through your journey. And now is the point where I could look back through the music and be like, yo, I went through this and this and this, but look where I am now. Look who I am now.
That's beautiful, man.
It's powerful. It's hip hop. It's music.
I was saying on the last episode that just kind of brings me because we're talking about facing things and talking about ourselves. I was saying the only regret I have is not putting it in a capsule, like basically like writing about it or making a piece of art that reflected it or journaling. Like that's really the only regret I have in life is not being able to I can remember a good day or a bad day. I can
But
remember
imagine
I
if
could
you could relive it.
right? But I think the importance, which I think you did with this album, you faced it head on,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's a lot of the time we throw all this shit under our bed, throw all this shit under our bed, throw all this shit, and then we don't. And then when we move, we just bring that shit to a whole other bed, and we don't even look at it. We don't address it. We don't put it in
No.
another box. We don't discard some of the shit. We're just like, oh,
Until
whatever.
it's either too late or it overwhelms you. And I felt like instead of it overwhelming me, I need to just get at it head on. And from there, it's like you hold no power anymore.
Yeah, man. In life, bro, what I do, it just like when it comes to buying stuff, whenever I buy something,
Mm-hmm.
I have to give something.
Mm.
So like if I buy a new jacket,
Mm-hmm.
I got to give one away.
I respect that. That's dope.
I get a new I get a new pair of kicks, got to give one away.
So you never go beyond what you really need in a sense. That's
Yeah,
very dope.
it's it's kind of it's kind of a combination of lessons I learned from myself and things I've learned from people and pretty much just also simplifying my life, which as a
Mm-hmm.
business person and someone who loves like cool memorabilia stuff, I do have a bunch of stuff, but I also don't have the biggest spaces. I don't have like a mausoleum yet to put everything. So
Mm-hmm.
especially with clothes, I've had to create that because it's just like okay, and it
I'm pretty sure you are low key. You got one of the illest collections of clothing out there. Not only do you always have something dope of your own when I see you, but you also have just dope pieces that I've seen online where I'm like, yo, if Dave was ever a seller, like in a sense of how people hype Beast out,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you would be off the wall, man. You'd be off the wall.
I love stuff, man. And but and bro, even today, man, I was exhausted before I hit record on this podcast. I was moving a
Damn.
bunch of stuff, my room, and it gets emotional. You see like an old letter, you see an old goal list that you made with your ex or something. You see shit,
And you like, oh yeah,
right?
I've been there.
But you
There
gotta
was a
face
moment.
it.
Oh yeah. You know what really helped this album? Weirdly, and I think you may be the second person I've told this. When I woke up on my 25th birthday, everything was different. I woke up and it was like all the lessons I got from my parents, from my siblings, from ex-partners, from just experiences living all made sense. And
Mm.
at that point, it was like, shit, I could literally, I have power of myself and over myself, so things can't have power over me.
That's great.
And that's literally one of the moments that inspired like 3 of the songs on this EP/album. Definitely was one of those moments where there's a few records on there where I will literally admit I was afraid to make, Some Days being one of them, because I did singing on it and I was like, I am not a singer. But I was in the studio and my engineer slash producer, G Dub, George Jetson, shout out to I Make Media. He definitely sent a beat over to me and Pretty Boy Lou. I was like, I'm sitting there and the beat is playing and I'm hearing this weird, different, almost like hip hop meets like in my head it was like hip hop meets like Bob Dylan kind of, where it's like, oh, I want to talk about something real and it don't always got to be perfect, but the message has to be perfect. And that chorus on there came to me. I was like, hey, just put the beat on, let's go. Damn. And within 5 minutes, I think the song was finished.
That feeling, bro. If you capture and you caught it, you captured it.
That's it. It also, this project showed me that from now on, going forward with projects and singles, I want to document everything. I had to get a dope camera and just bring it with me when it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there to do a project. Like I'm in the mood to do a couple 5-song EPs. I'm gonna put them out. Like some of them are gonna be real experimental. Some are gonna be, boom bappy. One might be again R&B meets real deep rhythm and blues. I don't know, like real deep doo-wop soul meets grunge. Who knows? I think I got to start documenting everything.
Bro, that new Biggie documentary, you saw his boy, bro. He had a rinky-dink camera, bro. It's all about. I think it's all just about capturing it. No matter how it could be,
moment.
bro. It could be a handy cam, Sony, 2010. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be your phone. Everybody forgets we have literal video cameras now in the palm of our hand.
Bro, real talk. And if you have Google, I'm not promoted by these people, but certain things give you unlimited space.
Yes.
Like if you have Amazon Photo, if you have Google Drive, and you have a Google phone, you get unlimited space. Yeah. It can't be HD, but so how cool is that? You just pull out the phone, you don't even work. Or, bro, and it's crazy. You could get a backup phone that's basically free, and then just connect it to Wi-Fi whenever you're set up.
And you just record. I think that's definitely going to be put in the arsenal as I work through this rebrand, because I'm rebranding the Instagram page. I'm going to start filling it with less personal content and more strictly music-based content. Starting to step into other avenues. Like I've had a few offers to do some modeling, and it was never something I ever thought of. But a conversation with my lady was like, "No, do it." And it was like, you said that so confidently. I'm like, it took me out of myself for a second. But she had a really good point, and I think I'm definitely, that'll be on the page soon. I want it to extend past music.
Bro, life. There's so many. I know Meek Millie says there's levels to this, but I say there's layers to this shit.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
Especially
levels sound cool, but you can't have a level without getting through the layers.
I'm a designer at heart, and by profession.
Of course.
So it's all about the layers. There's times there's a time I literally cut designs like it looks like one layer, but it's cut several times, like you're sampling. I may curve one part, but then I can't do a second effect, so I gotta export it, then I import it again, then I export the new layer, so there's layers to this, man, and
Dope. Dope.
I'm all for the ownership, so go for it. Shout out to Lou.
Shout out to Pretty Boy Lou, man. ITSA. It's that season again.
Where can people support
Oh Lord.
project?
The project and the 3 to 4 others from the first It's That Season to The Grain to Lone Wolf to The Venting Session are available on all platforms. Apple Music, Tidal, Google Play, Spotify, Deezer, etc., etc. I'm even thinking of putting some of it on SoundCloud. I'm thinking of it. I haven't been on that platform and in that world for a minute because that is its own universe, respectfully.
Yeah, I'm looking at the discography here. Make sure to go. The latest album is The Venting Session.
Yep, The Van Session.
And then we got It's That Season again, because I don't give
Because
a.
I don't get.
And
Because
shout
I
out.
don't give. Yeah. Because I don't give an F.
Yo, make sure to get that discography from my dude right here.
Much appreciated, Noodles. Much appreciated. Ah, wow. When you look at it, sometimes it's so funny because I don't even check it out that much. Like, I'm not the artist that Googles himself and all that. But when I do actually look into it, I'm like, wow, I never realized. Like, all this time, I thought I wasn't creating enough. And then you look back and I'm like, well, obviously, I guess I was. I just didn't understand it was at my pace.
Yeah, man. And what's cool about all these projects too, it's growth, and the new one is really, it's great to see you really just face yourself, and it's a serious one, but I think that's what life's all about, bro.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the summer's coming. So this summer, I'm gonna have a little fun. I definitely gotta put a call in to you to get me some dope ass stereotype code pieces because I figure if I'm shooting vids, I need some fire tees, some hats, and for the winter, I'm gonna need a hoodie or two.
Let's do it.
I'm down with that.
We
I'm definitely down with that.
We stay cooking, man. We got tons of new stuff, and it's a blessing to look at the site. We got over, I think, 500 unique products now on there. I'm not calling them unique, but it's a different product.
No, but it is unique.
And I'm grateful they are unique.
Yeah. You happen to be one of the most eclectic creators that I'm glad to say that I know and I consider a friend / mentor because I've watched you from back in the day when you was rhyming your ass off, rapping. I've explained to you how far we go back and how long I've actually followed your career growth in person. Wow. I'm talking back in the Muddy Cup days.
Man, those are
back in the back in the Dock Street days when you had to sneak downstairs. We're not gonna talk about that though. Good old Dock Street. To watching you completely 180, and now you're not only just touching your community, you're touching the communities damn near of New York and multiple states and parts of the country. I remember when you went on tour and came back, and it was like, what was that like? You were like, that was amazing.
Oh, and then
people asked you why, and it was like, it wasn't because you were even on tour with famous hip hop figures or musicians. It was more so I got to move outside of myself. I got to learn business firsthand. I got to fail. That was one of the dopest moments that you hit me with was I got to fail. And I was like, huh? And then you explained it like, yeah, there was a few hiccups. There was a few mess ups. But from those mess ups, I learned how to win twice. And I was like, yeah, that was it. I started throwing that in my mental lexicon.
Wow, bro. Thank you for sharing that, bro. You brought back some good memories. And
those are some really dope moments that stuck with me. through the years. Like, yo, when I'm 80 and my grandkids are like, "Hey, Grandpa," I'm like, "All right, hold on, let me recall my youth." They're like,
Right?
"Wow, you did some crazy things," and I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of lived. I never looked at it like that. Oh, that's dope. It's kind of fire." Then I'm be like, "But do y'all got bars? Because if you don't, get out." Be that grandfather that battles his grandchildren. Like, what? You rap? Word? Lock the door. What? Lock the
It's
door.
cool. We're gonna see a lot of hip hop grandparents. It's
It's
cool.
gonna be but they're gonna be
No
so
rush,
nice.
no rush, but yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be so nice that it's gonna be scary. I
No,
actually wonder what music will sound like in 10 years, 20 years. Like I'm looking at it, like imagine
it's
the
wow.
the the different landscape in 2 years even. Because look at the past 4 years. Hip hop doesn't even sound the same. In a
Yeah,
dope way.
it's true. It takes turns, right? I
Mm-hmm.
I look at hip hop as like it's culture, right? The same way
Mm-hmm.
food is. And
Oh,
you could literally go, you get fast food, quick. It's good in the moment. Then you could go get that home cooking
and it's
from
like, oh wait. Oh, that hit on 3 or 4 different levels. Yeah.
you could get
That's
that
the
home
perfect.
cooking from the
That's
south, from someone in the south who now lives in the north, or you could get that, you could get that slow cooked, or you could get that vintage cut, where it's just like un- Uncle Uncle Andre made it, it's fire. You know what I'm saying? So
real.
I think that's what's so cool about hip hop. It's like these all alternate little worlds inside the big universe of it.
It's a multiverse, just like comic books. Like people
Yep.
don't want to take it there or don't want to acknowledge it, but it's a multiverse and it's a dope multiverse because as I've grown within myself as an artist, it's certain people that I listen to that people don't understand how I listen to them. Artists like Future, people are like, but he's not saying nothing. I'm like, no, you're not listening properly, but it's okay. You will when it's your time. You'll
Yep.
catch it and then be like, whoa, like dudes are dudes are far more creative now. It's in a way, hip hop in 2021 resembles the 80s, maybe not in sound, but in the fact that people are comfortable to be themselves again. Because
Yeah.
you got dudes that's rapping like they don't waste a bar, which is always my favorite. I'm a lyricist at heart and will forever be. Like I said, I'm gonna be battling my grandchildren, so they better be ready. Let me look in the camera so that they know, because I'm gonna ask you for this tape in 30 years. Like, oh, Dave, you still got that interview? Because I need that real quick. I got something to show these little.
That's real.
It's gonna be one of those moments where I gotta re-educate. But yeah, no, it's dope in its multiverse fashion. I think it's something that still allows you to create in your own personal universe because you can tune it out. There used to be a time where you couldn't tune out the content, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, in the Dipset, the G Unit eras, the Rockefeller eras. Like as I was growing as a lyricist and falling into being an MC, it was hard to learn me while I'm filled with this much content every day. It was damn near a new mixtape, new freestyle, new project, new disc record. Like what? I
It's
think from
ooh.
2000 to 2008, New York was different.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, bro, cuz I think now especially with we have a lot of time to reflect everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We need that home cooking. We need that
Facts.
real. We need that vintage cut.
Facts.
We need that message.
We need those family dinner Sundays where it's like, yeah, this song made me sit there for an hour after listening to it and just put the pieces together. because it is cool to have those, turn up records and
Of
have
course.
the records about ladies and about, fun and recreation, but you also really need those records for the spirit where it's like, yo, it's been a minute since I heard an album and I was like, damn, I needed that. That's what I tried to do with the van session, unintentionally but intentionally. Like I wanted people, if nothing, I wanted people to come back and be like, yo, this was needed. So when I got that type of feedback, it was like, oh, okay, I'm on to something here.
Well, that brings me to my next question. What was that? So we'll talk 2 albums, right? I won't jump to the current vibe, but let's start with what was that album that you could just, you felt the shift in you from the like that album, like everything stopped and you could remember almost every, you could remember that day you got the album, you could remember life during that time. Like
there's a few.
that's how I remember my life is from albums.
Yeah, facts. I'm gonna give you one. Styles P's Gangster and a Gentleman.
Okay.
Styles P's Gangster and a Gentleman has so many layers, like you said before, and it was so well crafted, and it showed that he's not just one style of rapper. Like at heart, he's a super lyricist. Like the man paints a very vivid picture, and he knows how to use his words to such an effective degree that they stick with. Like I can literally sit here and spit the album word for word still. I remember being 10 years old, going on 11. I lived on Hillside Avenue in Park Hill, and my brother had the album. I didn't even have the album. This is when PS2 dropped. They should take it back. PS2 dropped. And between PS2 and GameCube in the summer, there was moments where we wouldn't even play the game. I was starting to take rap more seriously as far as learning how to freestyle. My older brother Chris at that time was part of a group out here named Hard Knock Entertainment. You may remember them because y'all in the same age group. He was part of Hard Knock Entertainment, and they got on Hot 97. And I remember them getting on Hot 97, them having a track that played on Hot 97, them freestyling there. Funk Flex talking about it. This is when Flex was on in the daytime. So that's it's back quite some time ago. Flex was on in the daytime and he was talking about it, and he was like, I want to shout out Staten Island and let me shout out Hard Knock Entertainment because they killed that show last night. And I'm like, yeah, that's when I started to realize I could actually do this, but I had to learn how to do it better. Then one day I was hanging out with my brothers Jason and Chris, and my brother Jay. We were playing SmackDown, random. We're playing SmackDown, and my brother Jay was like, "Yo, you want to hear his new album I got?" And he played "Gangsta and a Gentleman," and it was like that was it. That was it. "Gangsta and a Gentleman," Eminem Show, Stillmatic by Nas, Gift and a Curse by Jay-Z, Kiss the Game Goodbye by Jadakiss.
I remember that. I remember a bunch of these that you mentioned.
Yeah, these are moments that was like, this is what I want to do. Jealous One, Still Envy. Not for nothing. I don't know if people don't give Fat Joe his credit, but go back and listen to Jealous One, Still Envy, and that album is that's a classic in my opinion. He did some things on that album. He showed that he could actually spit. I remember. Oh yeah, but like I know, because of Pun, it took away from his ability as a lyricist and an MC. But Fat Joe was nice. He's part of Digging in the Crates. Like
I had that first album, bro. I bought Cartagena.
That was an amazing. He really. You got to give him his flowers now. What's he? 20, almost 30 years in the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Fat Joe dropped in like 92. I want to say. with FloJo. So definitely 20 years, yeah, almost 30 years in the game.
Consistent.
Next year will make it 30 years in the game. And he's had hits in all those decades on some Busta Rhymes shit. Like that's another one. Around that time, I started learning how to appreciate Busta Rhymes, and it wasn't even his albums. It was features on other people's records where it was like, yo,
Oh man,
this dude is different.
you're bringing me back, bro.
Like
Bro,
Busta was different. But that's just like once I heard the Styles P album and I really sat with that and Eminem show and learned how to put lines together with writing and not just freestyling, then I started going back and I'm listening to Jay-Z's catalog. Because as much as, I was born in Brooklyn, so I should be biased, but I'm a Nas head. So since a little kid, I've been able to rhyme and spit Illmatic word for word, because that is what really had me like, I can do this. I might not be that ill, but I can do this.
That's real.
That's when I started going back and studying.
Bro, I had so many memories. I could go on and on. But
those are moments.
Damn,
I think write a book one day, Dave. You got to write a book.
I'm actually starting a thing on I'm gonna start a blog series where I talk about like capsuling the moment from an album and like why that album mattered to me.
Nah, that's gonna be fire.
And it's gonna be crazy because I'm gonna bring up albums like this one. Like I have it right here, and people are gonna laugh at me.
Hold on, wait.
People are gonna laugh at me, but this was like I had this when I was like 6.
Why would they laugh though? Like that don't
not well, like Crisscross is not looked at as like hip hop, but yo, that album when I was 6, 7,
bro,
that was
Crisscross was
that's
fire.
what I needed at that moment.
Crisscross was fire. That's like, I'm not gonna lie, I had Lil Bow Wow's first album.
I did
that too.
Jermaine Dupri knows how to make a good first album for people, bro.
Yeah, he's a genius, and he's a genius as a producer. And
I agree. Oh,
he himself doesn't get credit as an MC and a lyricist because people don't realize the songs he wrote for other people. Like,
yo,
Jermaine Dupri's pen is behind some huge records. His pen, not just his beats, his pen.
Life in 1472, bro, and bro, that Emancipation of Mimi album, he is good. He does not need to work.
Oh, what? You froze on me.
Oh, hello. 1 2 1 2. You good?
Noodlez, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's good?
Oh man, you froze up.
Yo.
You good? Yeah, you good? All right. The Emancipation of what? Mimi?
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about the writing and the production on that Mariah album. He's good. He can retire off that.
Yeah, it's the same as Neo. You wrote Irreplaceable. You cheated in a way. Like that's cheat code level skill. You good. Then he spun and made his own hit records. Then he came back and wrote more hit records. Like that's a level I'd like to go to. That type of where it's like, you don't know I did it, but I know I did it.
So let's talk about, I'm not even going to get into I want to kind of just know about your album, because I could go on and on. This is going to be like a 3-hour episode if I talk about my favorite album.
I'm fine with that.
But what's your favorite album of 2020? It could be even an old album that maybe you found in 2020, or the album that got you through.
Favorite album of 2020.
And if you have an R&B version and a hip hop, you could drop 2 for us.
Favorite album of I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't even looking for albums. I was in create mode and going back and looking for the I want to say the rawest version of artists. Like I did a lot of mixtape listening in 2020 because as a fan of just the craft and the skill, there's a lot of mixtapes I was bumping. I was bumping Currency. Currency just dropped 3 or 4 amazing projects. And if you ask me for the title right now, I cannot give it to you because I'm still going through it. I know he dropped one with Harry Fraud.
Okay.
It's, in fact, give me 1 second. I have to pull up these album titles because I have to give that man his proper respect.
You're talking Currency.
Currency is different.
Yeah, you're on Dat Piff.
Not even. I went straight to Google for this. I went straight to Google and hit his discography because it's mixtapes. It's not even album.
Yeah. That's why Dat Piff's key for that. Oh yeah, you could get lost, bro. This guy goes hard.
We got the oh man, there we go. We got Spring Clean. Spring Clean is his mixtape, one of his mixtapes for 2020 that really hit me. It had me like, oh my God, wait a minute. Because I've always been a fan of him. I've always thought that he was dope. I've always thought that he got way less recognition than he should. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bro. He goes hard.
Hold on, bro. Give me 1 second.
Work ethic. Ridiculous.
Okay. It's better.
Yeah, so anyone out there listening, drop in the comment section your favorite album of 2020. Let me know if it's a hip hop album, pop album, rap, R&B, even if you have one in each genre, because I know genres. But
oh Lord, to be real, we could still keep going because I don't even need just hip hop. We could go to rock. Like I've been back on my Red Hot Chili Pepper phase, heavy, and it's none of their new music. It's stuff like The Bridge, Californication. Just hearing how they put their music together bridges back into the fact that they're hip hop heads. Because when you hear their music, it sounds like they rhyme in any way.
Yeah. They go hard.
Yeah,
so you blew the dust off some
classics. That's really where I've been. Honestly, my 2020 has been going back to the roots. Top album of 2020, King's Disease, Nas.
Bro.
Because I had to sit with it.
I completely agree.
This is cool, but then
you need to sit on that one.
Yes.
Bro.
I listen to albums in 3 phases. I give you a quick listen. I listen for what pulls me in first, and then I sit and listen because I've always been the person where the stuff that you don't listen to ends up being what sticks with you and makes you consider the album something that you'll live with. Like when I first heard the album, I'm like, okay, he got some ill records. This is dope. I'm on my way to work. I'm just bumping. I'm experiencing. I'm sitting, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of dope. It's kind of dope. But then one day I was traveling home, and I was like, I don't feel like going straight home. I got a headache. I'm not feeling well. Let me take a walk. So I took a walk, and I bumped the album. I think I went and I sat at the boardwalk and just listened, and I was like, why is he still this good 30 years in? Why is he still, he managed to not only be himself, but to be now. Yeah, something as simple as Spicy. Anybody else would have did that song and we would have laughed it off. But he managed to slide in with something with ASAP Ferg and Fabio Foreign and have people like, okay, Nas, we get it now.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's last album, 444. Oh my God. Like I sat with it and I was like, okay, okay. It's different because I know people had a problem with him talking grown up and not doing what he used to do. But this time he gave them part of his immature self and then showed them how he got to where he is now. And it's like, bro,
13
when
albums, bro.
yeah, when you get here, we could sit down and have a talk. And people are like, he shouldn't even be that. Nah, it's something that you gotta. I would have took that out for you, bro.
I completely feel you with the Nas, man.
That King's Disease had me sitting there like,
bro.
Then 2020 they showed that he had a remix to something from the album right before it. I cannot remember the title of that album. The album with Cops Shot the Kid.
Oh yeah.
They had the remix of Cops Shot the Kid with him and 3000. I was like, oh my Lord. It was one of those moments where it was like, nah, bro.
Oh, Nasir album.
Yeah.
It was during a very busy time that came out, especially how it came out. But bro, King's Disease, bro. I still
put it on and just listen and just vibe out. Like he's really, we better give him his flowers now.
Bro, I do. Only way, man. I've been doing something, bro, where I like get a new album every month. And I'm like, okay, I gotta just let it marinate and roast. And like I've been digging, and also I'm like, okay, because King's Disease 2, I put it on the Spotify, and Spotify 2, it's kind of like fast. It's this fast mentality, right?
It's very not to, this comment may get us in trouble with how everything's going, but it's a lot of stuff coming out right now is very Chinese food McDonald's. And then you get that one, like you said earlier, you get that one 5-star meal, or that, it took me 4 hours, but I made it myself. Like King's Disease is like stew in the wintertime.
Bro, I agree.
The album, I heard it, was like, yeah, this album is very, he showed us why he is regarded where he is regarded.
Yeah, it took a romantic, as I would say, like a romantic approach. Like I was like, okay, let me buy the album. Like I want to put it in the car. I want it to feel. I don't want the aux cord to get in the way of the sonics. You know what I mean?
Wait, you actually bought the CD?
I bought the CD.
I respect that. Bro, that's real.
That's what I do once a month now. I buy a new album and I sit on it, and I hardly switch it.
Put me on. So who do I need to check out?
So I've been buying like the first album I bought of the year was Things Fall Apart by The Roots. I never gave it the just time that it deserved. The booklet alone is worth the purchase. You don't even have to listen to the album.
You said the booklet alone.
The linear notes that Questlove and them write about each song is worth the purchase alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go out and get crazy, because even hearing Black Thug's mixtapes had me sitting there like, how do people not know? Like, I do remember that he's been on songs with Big Pun, right? Like Pun requested him. Pun requested him.
Lyrically, I'm supposed to represent. Oh, that's my jam right there, bro. The linear notes alone of that album, and I did not even. I'll admit, I did not even listen to that album till when I bought the album, and that album is a classic hip hop album. And then you realize why, and you see the effort, and you see the care that they even put into the linear notes of giving like stories behind the songs. It's so romantic league.
But that's what hip hop need. Like hip hop can be rap and it's fine, but it also has to remember that it's hip hop. Sorry to say, there's moments where like Busta Rhymes,
Bro.
Extension Level Event 2, fucking amazing.
I agree. That was my 2020 hip hop album.
Like,
but
dude,
the Nas shifted it out after I gave the Nas, and I'm gonna go back to the Busta and give it the same effort that I gave the Nas.
Oh no, you have to, because he does so much. We know Busta. Busta is a fucking tornado of creativity.
Bro,
he gives you everything.
Hard.
He's a gourmet chef.
He did it. You wouldn't even know which album came out in what year. That's what I love too. Like he could have put out ELE 1 now and it would work, or he could have put ELE 2 out then and it would still work. Like, but I love, of course, the growth of the storyline. But bro, that album's my right there with my hip hop in terms of just being blown away and being excited. And wow. And just taking me to a place, man.
It made me go back and listen, and just go back and really listen to Bust and be like, damn. Yep. Then you see why certain people just when people like Snoop Dogg give him his flowers, like, no, he's different. When people like E40 call him contemporary, and then you realize they pretty much came out at the exact same time. Like they have the same time frame in the game. This year, I've also been doing that. I've been going back and looking at people that I normally wouldn't look at, like E40, for example. I had to go back and listen. I listened to his first album. I'm talking 1985, his first album.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, this shit is so ahead of its time.
Wow.
The things he was talking about and how he was talking about them sound like 2010 music, but it's 1985.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was born right there. That album.
Too short. Legendary. And when you go back and listen throughout his discography, you see where a lot of people got their style from. Wow. It's those moments that make you really appreciate people where you didn't realize other people were just copying them.
Real talk. I agree. I gotta dig a little more into Too Short. I'm aware, but I'm not fully. I've been digging hard into Slick Rick, bro.
Oh no! Oh, that's that dude, bro. That is that dude.
He just takes you there, bro. He just
effortlessly.
Oh, yo, it's a trip.
I've been digging back into Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and really sitting and listening, and I'm like, it should, as a writer and an MC and a lyricist, it scares me how much they're still better than 90% of the writers and the lyricists. Like they're in this game almost 4 decades, and bar lyrical level, they still are top of the top tier. Like I heard a Rakim freestyle from last year that I was like, it made me sit there and just put my hand over my mouth like, damn, I thought I was ill, but like, shit, he's amazing. Big Daddy Kane got a flex freestyle. He went bananas. It was moments like that helped me get in the zone to do my shit, honestly. Because I was trying to find a way to make people want to listen, but also rap still. So when people sit and listen to the project, you're going to hear that some of the beats are now, but I'm rapping. I'm still at the core of it, giving you bars while, trying different things.
But I feel like we should, I could do like a marathon just talking about albums and like the importance of stuff. It's crazy, man. Like this is probably, I'm not even counting the clock, but it's probably my longest episode right now.
Oh yeah, this is definitely more than this is about an hour and a half already. That's crazy. And
But
we didn't even fully get through the album yet, which is hilarious because we didn't talk. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure you still have questions for me.
bro, I feel really good. I feel like it's only right that we now play the album for people.
Yes.
So so maybe just give it a drop, let people know what they're about to get into.
Y'all are about to experience the venting session, and sometimes you hold all things in, and it lowers your vibration and it sets you back. Don't vent away.
So before we cut into the tracks, make sure to support my homie on all social medias. Where can people catch you and link with you?
Instagram, Gunnz Cole, Gunnz _Cole. Facebook, Dru_Gunn. That's it for right now.
How do you spell Gunnz? Gunnns or Z?
Gunn. It's DRU _GUNN on Facebook.
Okay.
On Insta, Gunnz_Cole.
Gotcha.
GUNNZ_COLE. Because this year I'm also gonna get back into the alter ego game.
No doubt. Yo, make sure to go. We're gonna rock with you. We're gonna drop that new album right now. When you're done, make sure to go cop it, support it. So yeah, let's get right to it.
Let's do this.